Hello and welcome to K-Stop Fuses K-Pop Podcast. Hello everybody, this is Jeff, and once again, as usual, I am joined by the Jun K to my Nikun, Tina Zhu.
Hello. Welcome back to another episode of K-Stop. As you can tell, I am still not 100% well.
Aww.
My voice is still scratchy, so I'm sorry they had to listen to me like this.
Don't apologize, Tina.
But thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Really stoked for this.
Yes.
For this episode.
It's a particularly Tina Zhu X episode, I would say. At least 2/3 of it. Maybe all thirds of it. We'll see.
Probably 2/3, I would say.
Okay. Well, you'll soon figure out which 2/3 it is. Yeah. Just as you guys know, like we always say, you guys are part of this podcast as much as we are. I think that made sense. I'm also just getting over being sick, so I was out of the office.
We're too
so
ill.
We're really struggling. Welcome to the illest episode of K-Stop. Yes.
Okay. I'll take that.
But yeah, just want to give a
shout out.
Yes, a shout out to what Will said, who is at Wheelie_21 on Twitter, WELILE_21, and who gave us a shout out actually while chatting with some peeps online on Twitter. He used the hashtag K-Stop, which is how we saw this. He said, he said, you guys should peep hashtag K-Stop. It's my favorite K-pop podcast. Which we got to say thank you for, and thanks for being an awesome listener. So yes, thank you so much as always. Yeah, and then we also, of course, Gav, you guys every week let us know what your favorite releases were for the week. I feel like I might be forgetting. I feel like I'm forgetting a comment. What was the comments about AOA? You guys were shading me.
Okay. So, well, my friend Terry, who follows me, Bunny and Kitty, she didn't use hashtag K-Stop.
No wonder I'm struggling.
She's like, I don't follow AOA very much. However, excuse me is better than Bing Bing. And then,
which I don't agree with. And
then she said that excuse me gave me Kylie Minogue vibes, and that is exactly it. Like the chorus totally gave me like what's that? What was the Kylie single that I really liked? Well,
Can't Get You Out of My Head.
Yeah.
The one everyone knows.
So it like definitely I could hear her singing the chorus essentially.
I will say, okay, yes, so keep going. Or is that the whole comment?
I think, and then what Will said actually.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he responded to, I guess, like I don't know if he follows Terry. I don't know who follows whom. And he goes, I'm going to have to say I'm with Jeff on this one. I guess he liked the live stages for Bing Bing more.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So I will say, excuse me has certainly grown on me more and more, and I definitely now very much get the Kylie Minogue references, like because that is very her, like the sort of breathy, cooey, like
exactly.
Oh,
yeah, totally.
Wait, it sounds more like love me, say that.
You're
is that? I don't think that's Kylie Minogue.
That's
though.
not, but that's something she would sing.
It's very Kylie in that world, totally. Yes, this disco-y, yeah. So I get it. It's grown on me more, just so everyone knows. I'm feeling it more and more.
Yay. That's all that matters.
And the album actually is quite good, too. I finally got a chance to listen through it, and yeah, it's strong. Like AOA, I don't know. The more I kind of watch them, I know we were kind of saying last week that like nervous about where this group is going, what's going to happen. I feel like they'll be fine if they just sort of get back to their like signature sound and like stop focusing, the drama and the controversies, if those all go away. I don't know. Like, I just feel like, yeah, there were some missteps, as we said, with this comeback, but I think they'll be fine the more I sort of watch them. And I think Excuse Me is sort of rising back on the charts. So good for them.
Excellent. Excellent.
But did they win? Did they win K-Stop listeners' hearts? Because like you guys know, we ask you what your favorite release of the week was. Last week we talked about AOA's Excuse Me and Bing Bing, Akdong Musician's Last Goodbye, and Jesse Dumbfounded Microdot and Lyrics KBB. And KBB got both of our votes, right?
Yes, it did.
I am still
Yeah,
bopping to it.
Yes.
I
Oh,
mean,
really?
Yes. It was like my getting ready song.
I'm so surprised that you chose that.
I just keep listening to it. I keep getting ready to it. It's just a great song.
Oh my God.
But I will say the winners ended up being Akdong Musician with Last
Really?
Goodbye,
Oh,
72%.
wow.
AOA got second place with a 26%, and Jesse Dumbfounded Microdot and Lyrics did get 2%. So, I will say the Akdong Musician album is really good too. Winter.
Okay. I haven't listened to any of the full album or the full releases so.
Yet.
Need to do that.
Yeah, no, I highly suggest them. But as we move into this week's episode, of course, let us know what you guys are listening to, what you guys want to hear us chat about, what's on your mind, K-pop wise and otherwise. We'll always respond. But yes, let's just get right into this very Tina-esque episode. Who do you want to get to first, my dear?
Well, I think it's very obvious that we got to talk about June first. He's
Yes.
kicking off the episode. This is a very fresh release. He's been teasing his full, or I guess like this is like a kind of a fan gift, a gift to his fans, this album. And we mentioned last week how he titled the album very interestingly using numbers and characters and symbols. Yeah. Basically having it symbolize hottest forever, me and you forever, like with 2 zeros for infinity and blah blah blah. It's like 771x3 0 0, and I don't know how they're gonna actually like address the album or whatever, talk about the album when it's like so like cryptic. But anyway, last week he dropped the I guess pre-release single Your Wedding, which we didn't talk about because he wasn't in the video. It was just like a standard ballad that was fine, but I was like, let's just wait for like the next release. Yeah. And I'm glad we did because No Shadow. Is it No Shadows?
No
Is it plural?
I think it's No Shadow.
No Shadow. Okay. I love it so much. So he dropped this like right before we recorded this, and it is very Junke-esque. It's very kind of synthy alt R&B with a little bit of rapping. And it's kind of like if anyone listens to Bryson Tiller, it's kind of like Bryson Tiller, but a bit more hip hop influence, a bit more like up tempo with maybe a bit of Chris Brown thrown in.
I see all that.
I don't know if that's like the best description. But yeah, no, I really love it so much. I don't really know how to like. I don't really know what to. What did you think of the? Because it's kind of like Think About You, but not as synthy. It's a little bit more hip hop influence. Yeah.
Well, and I loved Think About You. Right. I still love it, and I still love I'll Be Promise, even though I know that one's more controversial.
Oh, that's 2 p.m. 2 p.m.
Song, I know, but I'm just saying they all to me in that same world. But from the first beat, I was like, yes, like thank goodness. I was really happy he was going back with this sound that I thought he really owned in the initial release last year. Wow, that was already last year. Or I mean, it feels like much longer. But yeah, no, I mean mostly I really enjoyed this. I thought there were some high moments, like really high moments, like just, I would love the overall beat, the overall sound, the overall the vocals were serving and stuff like that. There were a couple missteps. It wasn't perfect in my opinion.
What are the missteps?
I mean,
I
thought
didn't see or hear any missteps. So
I didn't love the rap section. I thought it was a little. It felt almost a little like just a little
when you
off.
say rap, do you mean in the beginning where he was kind of shout
No, in like the
rapping, or-
second verse when he goes
where
like
he goes into the
chilling
club.
with my homies
Yeah,
up
yeah,
to,
yeah.
and I'm like,
that was a
oh,
little
man.
jarring and abrupt, but I don't know.
It didn't last too long though, I will
That's the
say.
thing. It was just a couple lines and very fleeting.
Yes.
But I feel like because I've heard him rap before, it wasn't super off. It wasn't like unsettling to me that much. And I think that because he paired that line with the scene in the club, I'm like, oh, okay, I can kind of see where he's going for, like what he's going for, because the vibe was different. He wasn't in his room like he was in the beginning.
Yeah.
And this one was like him trying to say, this is what I'm doing while I'm trying to get over this girl that I can't get over.
Right. And you know, I didn't right. And so maybe I shouldn't be so harsh to that section. But yeah, I didn't
understand, 'cause, yeah.
I didn't love the looks in that particular section either, but like you said, it was a fleeting moment. What I did love is that I mean, he's just was serving muscles from the beginning. And I'm like, yes, boy. But there were also some really interesting like visuals too, like with the sort of black figures or whatever, and the really cool lighting tricks that they did. I just loved, like, there were so many very creative moments in this that I thought were so cool.
Yeah, I
and
feel like both sonically and visually, I felt like this whole thing really came together because it is about shadows and about, or the lack of shadowing, right? Because the girl's not there anymore. So he's so used to having the shadow of her body next to him, but she's not there anymore. So he's really playing off of the idea of shadows. And he's a very, very artistic person.
Yeah.
And he loves fashion. And I love that came through in the video.
Yes, it definitely did.
Right. And as much as I love Think About You, I feel like that one was a bit more well, no, this one was conceptual too. I feel like that one, I don't think his fashionista side really came through because it was very like futuristic, right? That music video. So he was almost in that like straight jacket type thing. So
it definitely made more of a it was more of a statement piece, I
right,
thought,
exactly. Yeah. So I understood like totally what he was going for, but I feel like his personality came through a bit more, and this is the like what he was wearing, like that black and white outfit where he was singing the chorus and walking around those mannequins.
Yeah, yeah.
That's totally something he just wears like on the regular. And so that's like a very June K outfit, and I really like that. But he also mixed it up with a bit more like things that are a bit more urban, casual. Like he likes his fitteds. Yeah, and he likes things that are like bold statements that are like accessories, like his hat that was like very loud and like in the club scene. Speaking of the club scene, I thought it was interesting that he had red cups, which is the very American party.
I feel like I keep seeing red cups in K-pop videos nowadays.
Really?
Or like not mostly in like a club setting.
Right.
Which I'm like, is this just
wondering,
them not like
yeah, I'm just wondering, like, are they specifically like catering to that crowd, or are there places in Korea that specifically
that's what I'm wondering.
are
yes.
like trying to be more American? Like I was tweeting like earlier, oh, this must have been in Itaewon where it's like all the expats are. Maybe that's a thing there. I don't know if anyone knows.
Yeah, it's interesting.
A place that does that, or they just brought their own red cups. I don't know, because Junkei is very like westernized. He likes America. I'm sure he's he loves LA. I'm sure he's party there. So maybe that's something he wanted to incorporate. But I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. No, I mean, I thought he really. Yeah, there were so many things to go back to, like in particular, you know, like things that make you kind of like make a double look, like whether it was like sort of like high art sort of things with like these mannequins, or like, you know, the sort of, you know, like when like the colors would get like all sort of like distorted on like, you know, the girl and everything, and I'm assuming that was sort, you know, it was almost like science fiction-y, some of those scenes, you know what I'm talking about, like the transitions and things like that,
like the fuzzy kind of distorted,
and I almost thought that
hazy.
Was right, and I thought it was like his eyes wiping her away, or his mind trying to forget it, or, you know, it was kind of cool like that. Or, you know, there were like sort of the fun things to go back to, like the red cups and like the club scene.
That's
so
the thing, I like that it still felt very him, but he incorporated so many different elements. And I thought the production, the editing was on point. I thought just the video paired with the song really well, because sometimes you do get videos that just I don't feel like they go with the song, and I feel like this one really worked. And I thought this was like the perfect kind of like lead single, even though he's technically not promoting it. It's just a gift to his fans, but this is like, I'm assuming, the lead single for the song, and I think they did a really good job.
For the album? Is it an album?
Sorry, for the album, yeah.
It is like a full-length album,
It is a full-length album.
Yeah, it's not released here yet. I was looking it up on iTunes.
I think it's tonight.
Oh, okay. Because I'm excited to get into it. Because, the Mr. No Heart album was good. And
no, he's like, he's always known like, oh, Mr. No Love, whatever. But I think it's really cool that he has a part 2 for Alive on this album, because Alive was an earlier single that he did. And this is part 2, and I heard a preview, because he released like a album preview, and it sounds like a more upbeat, catchier version of part 1. But the whole album is it's very him. It sounds stuff like No Shadow, kind of that synthy R&B pop vibe. I'm really, really excited. And his birthday's coming up too. So it like all fits together perfectly. So his birthday's on January 15th, so that's this weekend.
Oh, well, happy birthday, Jun K.
Happy early birthday, Jun.
Yes.
I keep calling him Junsu, even though it technically goes by Mean June now.
Right. Oh, yeah. I was
still not used to that.
I was on his like Wikipedia earlier today, and I was like, just kept seeing Junsu, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's because it's right. So let's say this is his last release for a moment until
I think it will be. He's like going into the.
Is he for sure? Because I think I saw Taecyeon and someone else is like they're enlisting together. Yeah.
I think he's enlisting with Tech.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, them two together. Oh, maybe it was them two
so.
Together. Okay, so do you feel like it's the appropriate goodbye? You'll be satisfied?
I think so, because I think it makes sense how this is, his personal, gift. He didn't say specifically that it was a goodbye gift, but I think it makes sense. It's right before his, 29th birthday. He's gonna enlist soon.
Wow,
29. He's an 88 boy. So I think it's appropriate, and it. Not that 29's old, but it's like kind of the end of the, army age spectrum.
Right, exactly. He's
so
getting
he's
close.
Gotta do it.
Yes.
I think Tech is like the same age or a year, or he might be 89. I can't remember. But either way, they got to do it. So I'd rather have him do it now.
Okay.
So it's crazy that it's been like, how long? Almost 8 years since 7.5, I guess, since 2 p.m. debuted.
Wow. It feels longer.
It's like 09, yeah.
Wow.
Like August 09, something like that.
Wow.
I know.
Here we are. But
I'm so proud of him, because he's really like come a long way. He's really like, carved. What's the word? What's the phrase where you like carve like a spot?
Carved a place for himself in the industry, or found his place in the industry. So I'm really excited to hear the whole thing. Yeah, me too. Cool. Well, there we are. Jun K. Let us know what you guys think. What are your well wishes for him?
Positive comments only, or I will block you. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't get blocked by Hey Tina.
Well, speaking of our Twitter handle.
Yes, we probably should mention that.
Yours.
Yes. I am Jeff_Benjamin.
And I'm Hey_Tina with 3 A's.
Yes.
So hit us up. Hashtag K-Stop.
Yes. Who's next on your list? Have we done Jun K justice?
I think so.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
Didn't want to move on too quickly.
Love it. Should we move to like get some girl groups in?
Yes,
some female.
Switch it up before we.
In here.
Yes, let's do it.
So I don't know too much about this group, but they also haven't put out anything in a year and a half.
Yeah.
HelloVenus.
They're back. HelloVenus. Yeah, HelloVenus is kind of an interesting group, actually. I don't know. Personally,
Do you like them? Because they were originally a joint effort between Pledis, which a label which I know you really like, as well as I think, how do you pronounce it? Fantagio?
Oh, I always called it Fontiago, but I have a feeling that's
no
not
idea.
how it's
so
pronounced.
The two of them
Fontiago.
worked together to form HelloVenus, but the partnership ended in like 04, so now they're exclusively under Fantagio or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and now they're back. So.
Right. Okay, so if you ask me if I'm a fan of them. So I was a fan, or I should say I was a big fan of them when they debuted initially. Like, I really thought I wasn't even that into, like, this was way before like the cutesy girly concepts were very in, and HelloVenus was like really on top. Like, they did quite well for like a rookie group in like 2012.
They were a sister group to After School, right? So
I think
there were elements of After School in there a little bit, maybe.
I guess in terms of like quirkiness, I guess maybe, but like there wasn't like, it wasn't very like totally strong or whatever, but like they had some really good songs, really good like B-side tracks. Like I was really into them for a while, and then it just, for whatever reason, it just seemed like things weren't working out. And then this is where things got kind of hazy with me and HelloVenus, was because they split the group, or the group went back to Fontiago. Fontego. But I have a feeling it's not Fontiago, but I can't help it. Is the A before the I, though? I thought it was Fontiago or Fontiago. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. But so what happened is that 4 of the girls that were under Fantasia or whatever were kept in HelloVenus. The 2 girls that were originally with Pledis went back to Pledis, and then they flipped into new members, and the group changed up their whole different style. They went more sexy. They changed their sound. They linked up with Brave Brothers. And after that, it just like, they didn't really have that same, not only I don't think the albums didn't do as well, but like the group didn't kind of have that same flair to me. Right. Even though I actually enjoyed the music, and like, they once again still had
Brave
B-sides.
Brothers, I feel like they're pretty consistent in terms of delivering well-produced songs.
Yeah, but a lot of the music, and I think a lot of fans would agree with me, felt like AOA sort of like rehashes. Like, they were just sort of like, it just didn't feel like HelloVenus had an identity anymore.
Oh, yeah, I hear you.
But this new song, they clearly took some time off. They like got some time to get things together. I keep hearing about Nara, this member Nara from HelloVenus, who's got like a lot of CF deals and everything, like promotions and everything.
Oh, yeah.
I keep seeing her around. So I was like, okay, they're investing a lot to do something new.
It's interesting that she's the one who's getting all the CF deals, because one of the members, I think her name's Yu Young.
Yes.
I think she's the one who kind of looks like Girls' Generation Sohyung, the youngest member.
Yeah.
And she's like gorgeous.
Yeah.
Not that Nara's not, but I'm just surprised that like she didn't get CF deals. I don't know. Maybe
it's always interesting who kind of takes off, right? Yeah, but I just kept seeing her like in like, different, posts or different, forums or whatnot. So I was like, okay, maybe HelloVenus like making some bank,
making some waves finally.
Yes. And like, this will be this. And I'm very like torn, or I guess I don't know. I'm very torn with this release. So this release, mysterious mystery of Venus. What
Mystery of Venus, right?
Yeah,
that's the name of the album, right?
I think so. I don't know. I kept seeing all these different words about mystery, but this is like you said, their first release in like a year and a half or so, and they clearly like didn't go full on sexy concepts like they were sort of doing. They were going very EDM in the past, very sort of sexy. It was not working for them. This was cute and workable. But I don't know, there's just so many things that I kind of was like, oh, I just like missed the mark. And I sort of feel like I chalk that up to like them just not having like a humongous company behind them, not having like the most resources from them. Like, cause like from the beginning, like we hear this whistle at the beginning, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like, the whistle, I really thought we were done with the whistle. Like, I don't know. Like remember when every song had a whistle, and like, I was just like, I really thought it was gone. Like, I never hated the whistle.
Right.
But like I really thought like, okay, I haven't
That
heard
we
it in a
were
while.
retiring
I
that.
would listen out. I'd be like, I haven't heard a whistle in a while. Like
Yeah.
we're safe, right? And then it was back. I'm like, oh no, I'm like, come on. I'm just so tired of it. But and it just sort of felt like a way for them to just play off something trendy and something like that. Not that I can hate them for it, but I didn't hate the brassy sound. I didn't hate like the, pop jazzy sound or whatever. And it was catchy enough, the song
Yeah, I will
and everything
say
like that.
it surprised me because I didn't really have much to compare this to.
Yeah, as I go into my timeline of history with HelloVenus.
Right, because groups like that, I just don't really pay attention to because they're all the same to me. They're all extremely generic, and I don't know why companies kind of put money behind groups that are all pretty much more or less the same.
Right. I feel you on that feeling.
Right.
We'll get back to that.
Yeah,
But keep
so, and I did think this single was catchy, and I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
But I feel like everything from the song to the video was basically a rehashing of something that someone else has already done.
Yeah.
Or a trend that already happened.
Yeah.
And it just felt very kind of like, I feel like I've seen this before.
Yeah.
I feel like I've heard this before. But it was just like bits of, like, heard it before via like maybe 2 or 3 other artists.
Yeah. No, you couldn't say they ripped off one person.
No, of course not. But
there was a lot that we've already seen.
And like you said, they clearly didn't have a distinct sound or identity. So it was just like, for example, the visuals of the music video. It doesn't help that I watched AOA's Excuse Me last week because it also had a kind of a sleuthy, retro, poppy color, look to it. And it was also about kind of following a man. I'm like, okay, this seems a little bit like deja vu. But then obviously the song's very different.
Yeah.
But it was nothing that was so annoying that I would write off the song completely. But I guess that's the worst place for a song to be, where it's just like completely meh.
Yeah.
And just not memorable.
I know, right? And like the like I felt like I saw a lot of Kara in it. I heard a lot of Secret in it, or AOA, like you were saying too. I saw and heard AOA. And I just I'm 100% with you, and this might even sound a little harsh, but if your girl group isn't gonna, or if you're any girl group, boy band, soloist, whatever you are, isn't going to bring something new or fresh, like what are you really doing? And and I'm just kind of like, and that's why it really sort of pains me, because like I really thought, and I don't really get into like new groups that quickly, like and HelloVenus was sort of like, it just sort of like blew me away, because it was like I just from right off the bat was already they were quirky, they had like unique looks in all of them, like but it was still very catchy pop music, and they weren't like over the top cutesy, like it was still like felt believable. I don't know, they just had something really cool going on from the start, from the get-go. And then it just sort of seemed like the whatever type of funding or whatever happened with them just sort of fell to the wayside. And I don't know, Pledis was sort of struggling at that point, so maybe I'll just let it be. But I don't know, I thought this was their moment to shine, and it just didn't totally go there.
It was underwhelming. Okay.
Which is why, like sometimes, we've talked about this a lot. Like sometimes groups just come out of nowhere, and it's like, oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting this, and you just become such a bigger fan of it, because you're like, I wasn't even expecting you guys to go this hard or go this big with it, or like some groups rise to the occasion and know they need to top themselves after that last release. But this one, I don't know. Like you were saying, they just sort of fell a little flat to me.
Yeah, and like the little sparkly room they were dancing in, that looked like a big diamond or whatever.
Right, that was very Kara to me. But
it also gave me kind of a little bit of rainbow vibes.
Oh, good one.
I don't know. Either way, I was like, this just feels a little bit dated.
Yeah, it's derivative. It's like it just had already happened, you know. I don't know. It's just like, Yeah, I mean, clearly they invested a lot, and like it's very visually interesting, but I don't
Mhm.
know. It just for in terms of standing out, in terms of finding new fans and things like I don't know. I don't know if
Yeah.
they did it. So
Oh no, they did not find new fans. If anything, it's like if you liked them before, maybe you'll like stick around for this. But in terms of like drawing new fans, I don't think they did that.
yeah, and I really did want them. You know, I kept hearing, all the teasers. There were so many teasers for this. I just kept calling it a Mystery of Venus, and I'm like, okay, like this is intriguing. Maybe they'll go like some sort of goddess,
Right.
Grecian goddess sort of
I
thing.
don't understand when like the title is mystery, but then I don't get any kind of like sultry, like
Yeah, I would have been so here for
mysterious
that.
vibes. It's just was a big disconnect there.
Yeah, so a little disappointing to say the least. But hey, I'll do my best to support. Hopefully the album is good. They do have good
Right.
album tracks.
We'll go through the album later.
Yes. But one I'm very kind of happy to end the end the album and the episode on this with Day 6.
Yes.
We talked about how we were excited about them last episode when we were
Mhm.
kind of previewing 2017 albums and releases we're into. Day 6, who was releasing a song a month, right? A song a
Right.
month, holding a concert every month too. Awesome. So great that JYP is really kind of, supporting them in this way.
Right, yeah.
And this is the first one called
Mhm.
I Wish.
I
And
wait,
Tina,
I wait.
sorry, I wait. And Tina, you made me a little hesitant with this because you didn't give the
I
most
have,
glowing
yeah.
review.
I need to reassess my original evaluation.
Well, because I'll just kick it off, I guess, because I was so into this the moment I heard it. Like the shuffle beat at the beginning was like really
The
like kind of
beginning
nice.
was incredible. I
Yes.
love that. It needs to be in like an anime anime show
I like that.
as like the intro song.
Yeah, I like
It is
that.
yeah. So I agree. I loved it.
And I will say the chorus was I didn't love the chorus like 100%. It felt a little what you described it, or maybe you should give your review and then we'll discuss towards each other.
My original see, I think this is what threw me off was I was so used to a kind of soft rock ballad vibe from them. That was
After
more-
congratulations.
Right, that was a bit more
and
kind of
I
like
went,
soothing or whatever.
yeah.
This was very J-rock, J-pop influenced. The styling really threw a new one at me. I was like, they look like 90s, like, I don't know, mix of J-rock, K-pop, singers. I wasn't
Right.
super into the styling. But the more I listen to the song, the more I love it. And because they still kept, like, Jay still has that soothing quality to his voice. They did not lose that in the verses. So I love the intro that you mentioned, that instrumental part, I mean. I loved him opening the song with his verse. I think the only thing about the song that I mean, I like it, but I think it'll take maybe a few more listens is the chorus, because I'm not used to them having the chorus be so big and
Rocky.
really rock instrumental influence.
No, I agree.
So I think that's what just like surprised me. I actually like the song a lot now. For what it is. And I appreciate that they're actually trying something different. That's because they are marketed as an instrumental, like a rock group, right?
Yeah.
That plays their own instruments. So it would only make sense for them to deliver on that and really show what they can do instrumentally. So I take back what I said. I made it sound like the beginning. I was like, "Oh, Jeff, you would not believe what I just heard," and I was.
It's true. I was very nervous.
Yeah. So I take that back. I think I just didn't hear it.
You were just a little jarred.
I
You were
was-
just a
I-
little
yeah.
surprised.
But I actually do really like it now.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I mean, the chorus took me a little back too, but like ultimately, like I kind of respect and get what they're going for, and there were just some, yeah, it just sort of like showed them further experimenting and showing new things. They would throw in like random samples like at times, which like I really appreciated and like thought that was cool. And you even saw, despite, I mean, not that this doesn't make you a band, but like you even saw in the music video that there were times when like they were showing them like playing the synths or hitting the keyboard or whatever it might be, which is kind of like interesting. I feel, or like usually those are the kind of like the hidden parts of a band, you know. Like,
they
people
really showcased the instrumentals in here.
Yeah.
Both obviously in the song and in the video.
Right.
And I also like how they gave Wonpil more singing time, because in the comments people were like, I did not expect that from that red-haired boy or whatever. Like, and because he's the keyboardist, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like you hear him on the chorus, but he's not really a standout vocally.
Yeah.
Or maybe someone that you notice that much because you're always seeing Jay, you're always hearing Young K doing rap. And
underrated.
they gave him a lot more camera time this time, and I'm really glad that they're showing off that he can sing really well.
Yeah. I loved his choker too.
Yeah. And I thought I like that everyone did something a little bit differently. Jay, the big thing visually was he didn't have his glasses. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so different. And I don't know, I like him both with glasses and without glasses. Young K like went full on like J-rock aesthetic, and the styling was totally there. And I don't know if I love it because I actually like him with brown hair, normal hair, which he actually had on a radio, like, because they host radio shows, and he had it where it was just like short and comb over, and he just looked very like regular, and it was really nice. I thought he looked really good.
Tina likes her guys a regular.
I mean,
just kidding.
Just like I like short hair and clean cut. Is what I'm getting.
You liked
at,
what he was going for
there.
there.
I thought he looked really good, but
maybe
he'll bring it back.
I thought he looked really, Young K in particular looked really cool.
He
with his
really cool.
with his
He's very
bass,
grungy, edgy.
Yeah, with his bass moment on the bridge in particular. It was like I was like, wow, I've never seen someone play bass and make it look so cool.
Yeah.
As like this does right now. Like I like took a moment. I was like, oh my God, like bass is so cool. And like I never thought that before. For sure. And like just I loved all the colors too, or just like very like JYP killing it with the visuals lately. Like just those lots of really nice colors, really nice like I liked, even it's not totally changing the wheel, but the cityscapes in the back and all that stuff.
Like in the beginning I didn't like it because it looked so amateur to me. Like it almost looked like After Effects went wrong. It looks like something I took an After Effects in college, and it was not a good class for me. Like the professor ripped my projects apart like every week, like in front of the class too.
Oh my God.
And like that kind of reminded me of it because it just looked like they like cut Jay out and placed him in front of a mountain background.
Right.
But I guess like it worked for this release.
Oh my gosh. Funny.
So it's weird. This is one of those releases where in the beginning I was so not here for it, and now I kind of love it. And and I guess that just proves how versatile and incredible Day6 is, the way that they can really draw you in, and they're just I think they're amazing.
I want them to come to New York. Let's hope it happens soon. Really?
I don't know.
I know they had shows in like everywhere but New York. They had like Texas and California or something like that. But
that's crazy.
Well, sir, but so I guess in recapping, who was your favorite release of the week, Tina?
Junkei. I'm sorry, Day6. You're a close second.
I mean, for sentimental reasons, I want to choose Junkei. But I don't know. I feel like maybe I have to give it to Day6 just because there weren't.
Actually, I like that better. So that.
Okay.
They get each of us picks one.
Okay. So they both get a vote. Yes. Yeah. And be sure to vote for your favorite on our poll with Fuse.tv, where we have. Where we post the episodes. We have a playlist of all the music we're talking about this week. It's all there for you. So check it out. Let's very quickly roll into some chats for the week, where we take a look at the top 5 K-pop songs on US iTunes right now. As you guys know, every week, Twice's TT is number 1. Just kidding. Long-running
It's
joke.
Jeff's voice just like rings through my head, and number 1 is Twice's TT, and every time I'm like, no, it's not, and I get really mad.
Well, I don't actually know how this is still happening, but they actually are number 5 right now. Twice's TT is number 5, the 5th most popular song on US iTunes, 5th most popular K-pop song.
Understandable though.
Right now. Number 4 is "Stay With Me," Chanyeol and Punch. This is from the Goblin.
I still haven't listened to that song.
The Goblin or the Guardian soundtrack?
I don't know.
I think it's Guardian. But yeah, this one's really popular. It's just everywhere right now. Like, oh
Okay.
gosh, like that. I think the song has been on the chart for a while.
Yeah,
So we'll have to have a K-drama expert square us in on more about this. But yeah, Guardian's really popular from what I can tell. Number 3, "Limitless" by NCT 127.
Okay. It's
127. You listen to it?
Yeah, it's catchy.
Yeah. I heard they added new members or something.
There's like 9 in this one, I think.
Which I'm just like, why?
All I know is Taeyong is in all of them.
Okay.
Taeyong, he's the visual, the one who had the scandals.
Yes, I know
before.
him actually.
Yeah.
You know this, like,
Good looking one.
it just really blows my mind. Like, I'm so confused by it all. But I shout out to Daniel Van Woeren, who at Yeller Van on Twitter, who wrote #KStop, was looking forward to NCT's new album this month. Now it's out, love it, but their styling is consistently crap. New concept, please.
Bad.
Yeah,
It's really bad.
I saw the teaser photos, and even from that, I was kind of like, oh dear, where are we going?
Yeah.
So it kind of,
It's just messy.
oh dear. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to check it out. I've had a stomach flu, people. Stop judging me. But I will check it out. I'm just out of curiosity. But NCT, I mean, so here, yeah, I don't really want to get into NCT right now.
Catchy. It's just visually, it's not doing it. And there's just too many people. It's too confusing. I don't have time.
I mean, here's the thing. I was reading some fan theory who were like, let's have NCT just have like one group, just like the NCTU can be the group, and all these other ones that like are kind of around, let those just be like groups for the upcoming groups. Like, let them sort of gain fans and stuff like that, and then like that'll be the new K-pop group or whatever. Or like these young guys in NCT Dream, let them be their own group eventually. You know, like, but like it's just now they're adding
NCT
members and
Dream
stuff.
Seemed to be a total flop to me.
I'm so confused. I'm so overwhelmed by it all.
Weird. And they were too young.
They right. I
feel like out of all the NCT releases, the first one left the best impression on me.
That was with 7 Cents, right?
Right.
We liked that one. Yeah.
And the other release they had as the dual release, it was okay.
Yeah.
The one that had like Chinese in it or something, or a
Right.
Chinese version. But no, I thought the 7 Cents was really good. And
Yeah.
I still work out to Fire Truck.
Fire Truck. I
though it
forgot
was,
about
like,
that one.
Kind of a hot mess. Whatever.
Oh dear. Yeah, I'm still waiting for me to fall into the NCT life, but we'll see.
Jeff's always like, we can pass on that.
Or it's so overwhelming all the time. I have to learn. I feel like you need to study to talk about them.
It's too much research.
Not to say that they're not worth it. It's just there were other things going on this
Yeah.
week. Moving on. Number 2, and I want to get down. Big Bang's
Yes.
Fuck It. Number 2. And number 1, look at this. Day6 with I Wait.
Yay. I was like, there better be a good reason Big Bang is not number 1 with that song again. So, okay.
Yeah,
this
no,
is acceptable.
doing quite well. So yeah,
Yay.
happy. I feel like they kind of, the US fans are kind of responding very well to Day6. So hopefully they'll be back soon.
That's awesome.
Sweet. Last but not least.
Speaking of fans.
So, nice transition,
Speaking
Tina.
of fans.
Seamless. Yes, this is sort of a topic we saw kind of trending around the K-pop world a little bit. We want to talk about this new thing. It's probably not a new thing, but it's the first time I've ever heard a word for it. It's called Akgae fans, if I'm pronouncing that right. And from what I understand, this is sort of come to light due to some recent events with Twice, who, Twice is a group that has 9 very different members with 9 very different personalities. But this whole thing about Akgae fans is that it sort of is a fan who is a huge fan of one particular member, and despite identifying as a fan of the group, sort of tears down other group members and is only there for that member.
Right.
And I looked into it a little more, and the name comes from Ak, which means, I guess, bad or like malicious towards one thing or member or person. And Gae, which means evil dog in Korean. So I guess put them together, it's like sort of a bad, evil fan towards one person or whatever, sort of like that. It's not a good thing. Is sort of what the and the instances that sort of happened, I guess, these, from what I understand, they might have been slightly taken out of context or slightly blown out of proportion, but it sort of seems like there's something brewing here, which is why we wanted to sort of discuss it. But there was a Twice fan meeting, and Chewy, who I thought had a lot of fans internationally and in Korea, but this particular
she's
instance,
so adorable. She's gorgeous.
Yeah, she's the baby of the group, But I guess people were yelling at her. She was saying goodbye to the fans or whatever, and people were yelling at her to shut up and not
pass
talk,
the mic.
pass the mic to Jung Yeon and someone else who's gotten quite popular in Korea. And so people were saying that didn't seem very nice. And there was another instance where at a fan meeting, the fans were asking what Jiho should
what sport
she should perform it in those sort of
you would
idol
be good at or
athletic
something.
championship shows. If you're a K-pop fan, every year they do these kind of dangerous shows where they they do these sports competitions. It's supposed to be fun. Someone always gets hurt. It's always like some big thing. But
they're very extreme.
Yeah, but a bunch of fans started yelling weightlifting, which I think she kind of took as like, oh no, like they're kind of saying it like that's sort of a commentary on like my weight or my size.
Are they saying that she needs to lose weight, or are they saying that she's like broad and can lift weights?
I took it as the latter. Personally, okay. Maybe also she might have interpreted the former way too. But
either way, it was like a negative connotation.
Yeah, and it kind of, you could kind of see she had sort of was taken a little back by it, and so we kind of wanted to like talk about it a little more because like I've sort of just seen this just sort of on other groups and stuff like that and other forums, and just kind of like and it's not only K-pop too, which is kind of interesting. I've seen it definitely with like pop groups in the West and stuff like that. And I think just sort of to get into it, I really saw this a lot with Fifth Harmony fans.
I was actually about to say Fifth
because
Harmony.
this I looked, I fell into this very strange pop hole one like Saturday afternoon when I was just like stuck at home on my computer or something, and just like looked into it, and the fans were such big fans of the individual girls that like the group mentality got like lost a lot between the fans. And like I think a lot of times like that, because these girls they're on social media as well. They read things. They're young. I think they saw that so much that it just probably started picking at them. And people were why are these my supposed fans or fans of my group tearing me apart, but like love her, and it totally probably gets in your head and stuff like that, and can't help for like group dynamic and group, group feeling and overall sentiment.
Right. Yeah, no, I think it's really interesting. I actually didn't even think about the U.S. or the Western acts who experienced this, but no, it's really true. What I find interesting is that this happens usually with female groups and their female fans.
Oh, interesting.
Because girls are, in general, more critical of other girls
That's
because
interesting.
we are very competitive by nature with other girls, and I'm not like this is just a fact. Like that, there's a reason people say girls are catty. They're they're really, I can't think of anybody, like any boy groups where the female fans only like one member and they like tear down the other members.
It's interesting. Yeah.
I really can't, like One Direction was not like that for the most part.
Right. Right. I'll say
the Zayn stuff didn't happen until after he left.
I was going to say right afterwards, after there was a split,
right.
then it would kind of like happen.
But
like
before
that.
it was always like
yeah.
holistic support for the group.
Interesting.
But
yeah.
with Fifth
the
Harmony,
boys. Yeah.
people would be like, I only like Camilla.
Right.
And they would, not talk about or whatever. I don't know.
I heard so many times like this is the Trinity, or like these three are the best,
right.
like these three are the ones
and
that need to shine.
I think a lot of it is honestly egged on by other fans, not maybe not even necessarily you personally hate this member or the other members of the group. Maybe other fans are like, your favorite member is trash, mine is better, so then obviously you get defensive, and then you start hating those members. So maybe that's like, because I do know, and this isn't just musicians, but also with athletes, like, or teams. Like I sometimes I really hate a team even more because their fans are just obnoxious.
Yeah.
So I think that is like one element of it.
I think that's very true. I think that happens in K-pop too, a lot too.
Especially because it's all about fan wars.
Right. We hear a lot about, don't want to name any names, but yeah, we hear a lot about certain groups just having like very immature fans. And it's typically the biggest groups that are always like this, because you get the best fans and the worst fans because you just have so many fans. Right. So you're bound to net, some great fish and some not so good fish. But yeah, no, I'm just sort of, you're, and here's like my sort of like trick, or my sort of my struggle with like really trying to like figure out what's better for like a group mentality, because on one hand, I think Twice has done a really good job, and I think the best groups in general do this by finding ways to let members' personalities shine and individualizing them and giving them activities, giving them ways, giving them moments to, shine on their own. But, that does ultimately sort of take away from the group, mentality. And like, I can't imagine that if your group didn't have 9 or 6 or 5 or 13, whatever it might be, very distinct personalities, that like, if you all sort of kept that group mentality, I couldn't imagine fans would really attack you if you really were very group oriented. Like if you all didn't, if no one really stuck out and you sort of like
no one did like extracurriculars outside
I guess
of the group?
like that doesn't happen that often, but like I feel like BTS for the most part sort of really kept the group mentality, and I know they're a boy band, I know or like even Little Mix, like they really kept this sort of, there was never any solo work they're on album 4 now. Right. They have like one Twitter account, the girls are very like supportive of each other. It always just felt like, no one was doing anything to stick out individually for the sake of the group, if that makes sense. That makes sense. Like, but I can't tell which is better, because like obviously you have that's
still a little bit different, because Akgae is where you only like one member and you just equally hate the other members, or maybe a couple other members you hate a little bit more than you hate the other members. I don't know. Whereas
so like vicious.
Whereas like if Lil Mix, let's say somebody did a solo thing and kind of broke apart from the group a little bit more, and their fans start disliking that member, that's still a little bit different, because they're only like singling out one member to dislike.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying here?
Oh,
whereas,
okay.
like, I feel like Akgae, like an example would be like you've like pre-debut, you always supported this one musician who became a member of the group, and you're like, I want this person to be so good in this group, but then you kind of irrationally hate the other members because
Yeah.
you want this person to get all the shine, but you have no control over it. So you just kind of indirectly hate all the other ones because you think they're all like stealing from your favorite members, like
I see what
camera
you're
time or
saying.
whatever. Like I feel like that's one example. So
Okay.
I feel like Akgae is like particularly interesting because you just really only care about that one member.
Yeah, and it almost feels like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't ultimately seem like they actively hate the other members. This is almost sort of just like a result of being so obsessed with
Right,
one of
that's
the
like
other
what I
members.
think
Yeah,
is what's
which is why,
happening.
like, yelling at Chewie to shut up so so your favorite member can speak comes off as very hateful and spiteful.
It is. It's
Like,
humiliating when you're in front of thousands of people, hundreds of fans, trying to
yeah,
connect with them, and somebody tells you to, shut the hell up. I'm like,
right.
it's like, I'm sorry, you can leave. Like,
Yeah.
but of course they can't even really do anything because they don't want to cause a scene. They don't want to come off as negative themselves, and it is hurtful because you're there to connect with your fans. It's
Yeah. Yeah. And I do like think about it too, or I was sort of like doing a little like research and stuff like that. Like with like XO, for example, like I was seeing like people were talking about there's some Akgae fans with like some of like the Chinese members or like who were very were very supportive of them, and like working in China in particular, and then just like not wanting to support the other ones. And I thought that was kind of interesting because this is K-pop is supposed to sort of be this all-encompassing melting pot of different nationalities and whatnot to promote pop music and whatnot. And then it's almost like when those things sort of happen, it almost is sort of like a backlash. Like it's supposed to be more for everyone, more for the whole pot, and then that kind of doesn't exactly
what I also
work
find
in this
strange
way.
is if you love this member so much, why would you disregard and or shoot down their relationships with the other members?
Yeah, with their team,
And like, I was trying to think, like, was I ever like this with any groups? And I mean, the answer is no, but like I would think back to how like I used to be like obsessed with Junkei, like obsessed. And like
I
would
hope he's
always
listening to this episode.
and like and I remember always kind of not like resenting the other members, but I would be bothered when Junkei wouldn't get more lines, or he wouldn't get more camera time because for example, J Park he was wildly popular.
Yeah.
And Tech was very popular. Kun was very popular. And I always felt like Junkei didn't get enough shine, even though he is now, but it took a while for him to kind of do his own solo thing and be respected for that. But I would never be like, I hate all the other members, because that just doesn't make sense. Like,
it doesn't make
sense. They support each other. He supported his fellow bandmates, and for me to hate the other members just because I wanted Junkei to get all the camera time, it's just like, I just felt like that's such a weird way of thinking.
Yeah.
And I almost want to know, like, how old are these people? Are they like grown ass people, or are they like 15?
Yeah. No, that's legitimate. That's a legitimate question too. Cause I would argue too that like if you're a fan of this person, you didn't just like discover them on the street. You discovered them via their group and their work that they've done with their group. So
or if anything, the earliest like excuse me, before the group actually debuted, they haven't picked the members yet, but you knew who were like roughly the trainees that are like getting ready to debut.
Exactly.
But that's like so rare,
Yeah, right. I mean, there's definitely like a culture for that, and for sure. But yeah, I just it's almost kind of like I think everyone has their favorite members in different groups. There's a reason that word bias is always around, stuff like that. But I think if I'm even thinking about like some of like my groups where I have a member I really like, and I know that other members are getting shine like during a particular song or a particular single, like I'm not upset by. If anything, I'm kind of like, I get it. Like I was like, okay, now it's that person's time, and like next time someone else will get it. You know, like it's sort of the sort of agreement you get into by being a fan of a group, and you know, like these people aren't solo acts yet, at least, you know. So I don't know. It just seems very counterintuitive to not to be so obsessed with one member to disregard the rest of the members, because ultimately, like, this is the bread and butter. It's going to be the bread and butter for a while, like, you know.
Right.
And maybe this is sort of like the result of, you know, a world where, you know, anyone, you know, where everyone really gets more of the chance to shine, and people get, you know, I think, you know, a lot of K-pop stars see, you know, how big their fandoms are online and on Instagram, on Twitter, whatever it might be, and realize like, oh my gosh, I have this huge fan base that I can, you know, I could probably do it on my own. And I think we're seeing that a lot more recently than we did in the past. But, you know, I think before people were quitting groups due to contracts, I think now we're seeing more people are like, oh, I can do this on my own, you know, I can do it all on my own. So I don't know. It's interesting. I thought it was, I don't know, it's an interesting little topic, and I'm kind of curious. Hopefully it kind of is sort of an ugly trend that might go away.
Excuse me. I can only understand if you pay attention to one member, but you don't dislike the other members, but you don't go out of your way to see what they're doing. Because there are groups where there's only one member that I'm interested in, like for, don't hate me, VIX fans, but in VIX, I really only care for Ravi because I think he's cute and I think he's a good rapper and I like his songs. So when he does shit, I'll like look out for that. I'll be like, I'm interested in that, but I don't go out of my way to be like, oh, like all the other members suck and you know, they shouldn't do anything. They shouldn't release anything and they shouldn't speak ever. You know, it's like, I feel like I understand if, and that's, you know, if you just care for one member, but to actively just like shit on other members, it's
so bizarre. Yeah, it just seems very counterintuitive. So I really hope it's sort of a little trending topic that dies down shortly, and we can all peacefully enjoy all our favorite members and maybe our not so favorite members too, and move along, you know, peacefully. So do you guys have any experiences with Akgae fans? What are your thoughts on them? Have you heard about them? Are you an Evil Dog fan yourself? If so, we're going to call you out. But yes, let us know your thoughts on these week's releases, what's coming up, what's happened already. Let us know. Yes, hashtag KStop. We're on Twitter. We're on Fuse.tv. We're on iTunes. We're everywhere.
Don't forget to vote for your favorite release of the week.
Yes. Vote in Fuse's K-Pop Top 40 countdown right now. Oh my gosh, it's got huge response.
Vote for Crush because he and the Bermuda Triangle boys and Zico and Dean, they are, last time I checked, they're not faring too well against their opponent, but that was also like yesterday, like, you know, so maybe they've caught up. But
yeah, Tina stayed up all night voting. That's why she's sick.
This is my personal plea for you to please vote for Bermuda Triangle.
Yes, so
I'll be very sad if they lose.
Yes, and then Tina won't even come to work anymore.
Then you just won't hear from me.
Yes. So on that note, as always, thanks for tuning in. This has been Jeff.
And this is Tina.
Thanks for tuning in. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.